But that did remind me about when we have to be brave enough to look inward, and we're all a work in progress, but when we can step in and resolve some of that hard stuff, it is really powerful and freeing. There was a word that popped up for me when he's gone behind your curtain, so I don't even know if he can hear me, but there's a word that popped up when Geordie was speaking, which in reo is tino rangatiratanga. And it was one of my big words a couple of years ago, when my husband rolled over at night and said, "Are you awake?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Let's get divorced." And as casually as you might say, "Let's go to Bunnings tomorrow and get some stuff at the garden centre." And so I had to find that power in myself to get through that. And my big word was tino rangatiratanga for that year following that, which was about determination and standing in my own truth. And that your story, Tiara, reminded me of that. All right, next up, we've got Jennifer Rawlinson. She's a proud Geordie who fell in, I feel like another slogan. I'm just going to note that. Self-slogan coming. Jennifer is a proud Geordie who fell in love with New Zealand's beaches and never left. She's a wordsmith, memoir writer, Buddhist, and crazy plant lady. Those are her words, by the way, not mine. Life has thrown her some curveballs, but she wears the title of limited edition proudly. I love that. Please welcome the woman proving there's no such thing as ordinary, Jennifer Rawlinson.
March 30th, 2022. My eyes are planted on the bouquet on the kitchen counter. Where was Pip? This morning routine was the only thing that had been getting me out of bed at a decent time. Anything that could distract me from my caffeine fix and pain was impressive. But Pip was impressive. Ah, there you are. I hope you got more rest than I did. Pip's yellow eyes met mine, and she began a slow, springy walk across a leaf. Pip had become a solid companion over the past few days. Slam! The sound of the door made me jump, and the shock sent a sharp pain radiating down my pelvis. He was back. The smell of bourbon and cigarettes hit me before he'd even entered the room. I cautiously made my way to the sofa to sit down. Damn, my pain was bad today. He stumbled into the room, shirt half unbuttoned and shoelaces undone. One glance told me that he'd been up all night drinking, and well, I didn't want to think about what else. I sighed silently and allowed my tired eyes to fall back onto Pip. The way she moved, every step with such precision, it was captivating. Am I talking to myself here? He gripped my chin as he bent over me, his forehead centimetres from mine. I knew better than to physically recoil, so I closed my eyes and tried not to inhale. You're pathetic. I'm tired. Can we please not start the day like this? Hearing myself plead, made me feel pathetic. Maybe he was right. You don't want to start the day like this. I don't want to live like this. What's the fucking point? I returned my gaze to Pip. Her body still, she rotated her head towards us, arms effortlessly in prayer position. Are you inhaling the stench of bourbon and cigarettes too? I was protective of this insect. Please, just stop. I begged silently. I barely slept due to pain. A combination of this with the side effects of my medication made me feel weak. Really weak. Get up! I winced as a dagger-like pain shot down my abdomen. I locked eyes with Pip. How do you stay so calm? So composed? You're bloody obsessed with that thing. It's an insect. I'm getting you a proper pet. If I'd been brave enough to roll my eyes, I would have. Instead, I let out a yawn. Slam! His hand met the kitchen counter. I'm boring you, am I? His face reddened as I watched him fumble with a bread packet, throw 2 slices into the toaster, and slam down the lever. His every action was aggressive. I hated the fact that I lived with this man who was meant to be caring for me, but instead made my emotional pain almost as unbearable as my physical. As I watched him stomp around the dirty kitchen, I wondered what I found more repulsive, the state of the kitchen or the state of him. My thoughts were interrupted by a slow hissing sound. No! Please no! Pip! Pip! Yanking the toaster's cord out of the wall, the pain brought me to my knees. I collapsed onto the floor, tears streaming down my face. What the fuck are you doing? You've lost your mind. I ignored him. He didn't matter. Pip mattered. And Pip had left the safety of her leaf and leapt into the toaster beside her. She was stuck in the same way that I was stuck on this filthy kitchen floor. I didn't sign up to this. You know what? You used to be fun. But this isn't fun. The slam of the door rattled the bones of the old house as his words rattled around my brain. Clutching my pelvis, I slowly made my way to my feet. Tipping the toaster upside down, crumbs cascaded onto the countertop. I'm sorry, Pip. I sobbed as I saw Pip's motionless body stuck to the metal element. Taking one last look at the debris of crumbs, I made my way back to bed. The day had barely begun, and I needed it to be over. Pip was gone. He was gone. I was utterly alone. March 31st, 2022. My heart sank before my eyes opened. I was used to this feeling of reality hitting me like a train at high speed, but the impact still left me dizzy. I wanted to climb out of bed and shower, but simple tasks had become silent battles. The conversation with my brother in the UK the night before on the phone entered my mind. Sis, I think you need to get some sleep. I hope he comes back soon. Really can't believe he's left you in this state. He was missing the point. I didn't care where he was. I cared about Pip. A jolt of pain reminded me that I needed to get myself to the bathroom. I made my way there, deliberately ignoring my reflection in the bathroom mirror. I didn't even want to look at what I'd become. Entering the kitchen, I breathed deeply as I approached the scene I'd been dreading. Pip? I felt like my heart was going to burst out of my chest. Amidst the pile of crumbs was my companion, alive and waiting for me. Arms not in prayer position due to the remnants of her right arm being stuck in the toaster beside her. Tears glided down my cheeks. Pip had survived. She'd made it out of the toaster, out of her sticky situation. As I bent over to meet her yellow eyes, something stirred within me. I knew this was a message. I may be stuck right now, helpless in ways I never imagined, but I could get out. Snapping a photo of Pip beside the toaster, I sent it to my brother. No fucking way, he replied. I smiled. September 3rd, 2025. I stand before you all, recalling the moment an insect changed the trajectory of my life. How a praying mantis named Pip showed me that it's possible to turn pain into power. Thank you.